Hi, everyone. Meteorologist Bill Rentschler in the 1011 Now streaming studio. It is Monday, August 8th, and bringing you an update on the forecast as we're expecting one more really hot day today, but we do see some relief from the really brutal temperatures we've seen over the past couple days as we head through the rest of the work week. So that is some good news. So jumping into the forecast again, looking at your weather headlines again to start, like I mentioned, it's going to be a hot start to the week. The one good news, one piece of good news about today, though, it's not going to be quite as humid as it's been. Dew point's still in the mid to upper 60s, so it's still going to be pretty thick out there, but I think those high-end dew points that we've seen into the lower and even middle 70s are not expected for us today. And then cooler temps, like we mentioned, headline the forecast as we kind of go through the rest of the week. Again, feeling maybe more like, early to mid-September as opposed to early to August. But then we'll also keep an eye on some scattered chances for rain and thunderstorms in the forecast as we head really through the second half of the week and into the upcoming weekend. So currently right now, again, just a few minutes past 9 o'clock. Already warm out there, upper 70s right now in Lincoln. And again, you can see that dew point numbers down into the low 60s. And so that's what I mentioned just a moment ago, is I don't think it's going to be quite as humid out there today. Still going to be pretty muggy out there, but not quite as oppressive as it has been. You look at temperatures across the state. Again, already a warm morning, just a few minutes past 9. And we have those temperatures ranging anywhere from the low 70s to the low 80s. Already 82 right now in Grand Island, 81 for Norfolk as well as O'Neill and Ainsworth, 79 in North Platte. Those dew point numbers, which can have come down a little bit, generally sitting in the upper 50s to upper 60s across the state. Again, these are much more tolerable than upper 60s to upper 70s out there. Winds, which are going to be a little bit on the blustery side for us today. We could see winds gusting as high as 25 to 30, maybe 35 miles an hour at times, which again is something we haven't really seen for at least a couple just regular wind gusts, not thunderstorm wind gusts, or something we haven't really seen at least for a couple days. But winds this morning generally out of the south. You can see for most of the state at around 10 miles an hour or so, but we can already see some westerly and northwesterly winds across the far western sections of the state. That's the cold front that's going to be slipping through the state as we head through the day today, and that's going to be swinging the winds to the north and to the west, from west to east across the state today, and that will be ushering in some of those cooler temperatures we already talked about here at the top of the streaming segment. So that is the good news. Satellite radar picture again shows some clouds out there. There are a few returns showing up on radar. Really not much is reaching the ground. We're really expecting Monday to be a pretty dry day across the state. Not much in the way of moisture anticipated. If you zoom out, look at a regional view, things overall fairly quiet. Do have some thunderstorm and rain across the Dakotas into parts of Minnesota. Did have some strong storms move through the Chicago metro early this morning to start the work week, but otherwise fairly quiet out there. Where it's not so quiet, again, if you look at the national view, again, Hurricane Debbie making landfall in the Big Bend down in Florida just the last few hours. So again, areas near Tallahassee, and again along the Big Bend down there in Florida, dealing with quite a bit of moisture. Again, very strong winds, and that's still Category 1 hurricane as of the latest update from the National Hurricane Center. But again, that's going to continue to cause some chaos down there in the far southeast up into the Georgia and Carolinas, the coastal areas down over there as that storm moves through over the next 24 to 48 hours. So that's a storm we'll keep an eye on. But otherwise, again, you can see generally, though, things pretty quiet for the middle part of the country. Things pretty quiet for the western sections of the United States as well. Again, going back to Debbie, though, like I mentioned, still a Category 1 hurricane with gusts up to around 100 miles an hour. Hurricane warnings in place for the Big Bend areas down there in the western Gulf coast of Florida, along the Panhandle region. Have tropical storm warnings there for the coastal areas from Jacksonville up towards Charleston into South Carolina. Also have storm surge warnings in those same places as well, as they could see several feet of rain with Debbie as they head over the next few days. Again, it's going to move pretty slowly through that area, and again, holding a lot of water with it as well. So again, a lot of moisture. Again, several feet of rain possible from some of those coastal areas with Hurricane Debbie. Back here at home, though, again, thankfully we're not going to be dealing with that as we head through the day today. Again, maybe some clouds. There could be a spotty shower or two along that front that moves through, but generally we're thinking it's going to be a dry front by 5 o'clock. You can still see southerly winds for Lincoln, but those northerly winds are kind of knocking on our doorstep by 5 o'clock this evening. That front should push through as we head through Monday evening into Monday night. And so again, that's going to usher in some of the cooler temperatures, but we will stay dry. As we head into Tuesday morning with sort of those northeasterly winds, could see some clouds, low clouds, fog, to start the day on your Tuesday with some of those cooler temperatures. That's something we'll watch out for. Our in-house model here has it pretty widespread. Don't know if it'll be quite that widespread, but again, some low clouds and fog possible to start Tuesday. By the afternoon, looks mostly sunny, pretty quiet. Again, generally dry for the day on Tuesday. Our rain chances really don't return until we head into, we'll start Wednesday morning as another front is going to drop through the area. That could bring in some spotty showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm. Better chance, though, will likely be as we head towards Wednesday evening, Wednesday night, as we could see showers and thunderstorms develop first out west and then potentially move across the state. So that's a time frame we'll keep an eye on as those rain chances will start to return for the middle part of the week and then definitely for the second half of the week as well. So take a look at the Storm Prediction Center outlook. Again, looking nationally. Again, day one, you can see that in the southeast. Marginal and slight risk. Again, that is for Hurricane Debbie. Otherwise, you have a marginal and slight risk kind of stretching from southern Minnesota through the Great Lakes regions and then up into the northeast. But again, here in Nebraska, generally nothing. Again, like I mentioned, we're expecting a pretty quiet start to the day. For the day on Tuesday, again, a general thunderstorm outlook for the western sections of the state, but again, most areas likely going to stay dry. And then Wednesday, we do have a marginal risk across the western third of the state, so again, could see an isolated strong to severe storm in those areas. 7-day precipitation potential, again, starting with a little bit more of a national view here. You can see along the east coast, they're going to have a lot of moisture as we head over the next 7 days. And again, those coastal areas, Georgia, Carolinas, they could see 10 to 20 inches of rain with Hurricane Debbie, and that moisture swath will just continue all the way up the eastern seaboard where they could be seeing widespread 3, 4, 5 inches of rain, again, all the way up into New York and up into the New England area. Back here at home, again, we do have multiple chances for showers and thunderstorms through the course of the next 7 days. Most of that looks like it's going to be potentially centered across portions of central and western Nebraska as opposed to the eastern sections of the state, but it looks like we do have the potential to maybe pick up an inch or two of moisture as we head over the course of the next week. Again, not all at once, but it's going to be spread out over the course of the next 7 days. As far as temperatures are concerned, highs today, again, it's going to be another hot day. Again, a little bit cooler further to the north where that cold front will slip through a little bit quicker and earlier in the day. So we're going to go anywhere from the mid to upper 80s for the northern tier of the state, but we're still talking potential triple digits for Lincoln and for the southern sections of the state. Again, the good news, though, like I already mentioned, dew points should be a little bit lower today. So don't actually have any heat advisories per se across the state. We do have heat advisory for Douglas and Sarpy County, but that's more so because of the power outages that are still impacting people's air conditioning units, things like that. But no heat advisories for, again, the very high temperatures and very high humidity. So that is good news, but still will be a very hot Monday afternoon for many of us, again, in Lincoln, making a run for 100 degrees. Then lows into Tuesday morning, upper 50s to upper 60s, which, again, is pretty typical for this time of year. But then check out the high temperatures Tuesday afternoon. These will be much more comfortable. Most of the 10-11 coverage area looking at highs anywhere from the mid-70s to the lower 80s. A little bit warmer in the far west. Still could reach the low to mid-90s for the panhandle. But, again, much cooler and much more comfortable, I think, by Tuesday afternoon. Into Wednesday morning, again, it's upper 50s, low 60s. Should be a pretty comfortable start to our Wednesday. And then Wednesday afternoon, we're still going to kind of hang around with some of those cooler, more pleasant temperatures, upper 70s, low 80s for much of central and eastern Nebraska. Again, a little bit warmer then as you head further to the west with some 90s to maybe some near triple-digit heat in the far southwest. Extended forecast for Lincoln looks like this. Again, you can see hot and breezy today, but then low 80s Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then even cooler than that as we had Friday, Saturday, upper 70s for highs, and then staying in the low 80s on Sunday. Again, I know myself, I've been waiting and kind of putting off picking up sticks in my yard. I picked up a lot of sticks, just had to with the incredible amount of wind damage, but I've been waiting for some of the cooler temperatures to finally get here before I really kind of went whole hog and really even started picking up a bunch of the small sticks and things like that. If you look at the 10-day forecast, again, for select cities across the state, again, this is going to show that pattern of really hot today, but then much cooler as we head really through the remainder of the week. Again, some areas right around 70 degrees for the day on Friday, upper 60s to upper 70s. Things do warm back up as we head kind of towards early next week with highs back in the mid to upper 80s. But again, that's pretty typical for August. We're going to start to see as we head through the last month of meteorological summer, some of these swings in the temperature as, again, the cooler air at least kind of starts to to knock on the door from the north. So that's just kind of what we'll keep an eye on here as we head over the next couple days. Again, this was a daily forecast update. We could kind of been doing these, kind of got away from them. I'm going to hope to kind of get these restarted, but tune in hopefully daily right around this time, 9 o'clock or so, for this daily forecast update from myself and from the 1011 streaming studio and the 1011 weather team. So appreciate everyone for tuning in and for watching as always. Again, one more really hot day out there today. So again, if you have to be outside, be careful. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water. Limit that time outside, but things do get better as we head past today. So that is the good news. So appreciate everyone for tuning in and for watching. Hope everyone has a nice Monday, and we'll see you again tomorrow.